Coming very clutch.
Maybe whites are clutch. Maybe whites are clutch.
Good call.
Maybe whites are clutch. It sounds like a personal problem. He's a sloppy eater. You got to be careful.
Yes, he's a napkin.
All right. You know what? We said the devil and the angel was showing up today. The devil doesn't show up on Sundays. Sometimes he shows up on Fridays.
And ain't nothing you can do about it.
And the angel could show up every single day. I'm hoping we get the angel today.
Okay. Who the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about Carlos Ramirez. Carlos! NBC Sports Bay Area. A's, Giants, Niners, Pocket Squares, Art of a Gentleman. Carlos! What's going on, buddy?
Are you ready for NCAA football on the PS5 is what I want to know.
Carlos, I'm bringing Florida State, and I'm bringing them. Don't Campbell Stadium. You want to go to the Swamp? We can do whatever. July 19th, buddy. Give me the gamer tag right now, and we'll be rolling. I'm ready to go.
At Toma Papa on the PS5.
All right,
I'm going to kick your butt with my Buffaloes. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, you're a Colorado fan. I forgot about that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's easy.
Yes, sir.
Slim pickets. Hey, do you guys got a team? You guys even got a team this year? Everybody's transferring.
No, what are you talking about? We don't disrespect Deion Sanders. We're going to get a good product out on the field. I hope to be there for the North Dakota State game out in Colorado on a Thursday night. We're going to start kicking some butt. Let's go.
You and Trey Lance. You guys will be out there.
Yes. That's the expectation.
Carlos, talk to me about these Giants, man. What's going on with these Giants?
Well, they're hurt. I mean, you're seeing it. You're hurt, but you're also seeing the how to put it, the evolution of certain players, mainly Heliot Ramos, of the guys that have come up this season. They're finally hitting their stride. I want to say there's a growth there that you can see with your eyes, and that the stats also support. In Elliott's case, it's not even close. I mean, this guy, the at-bats weren't that many. In 2022, he had 20. In 2023, there were 56. So that's a 76 total at-bats in 2 seasons in the bigs. Now he's up to 29, and if he keeps this up, he's not going to go anywhere. 310 average, 333 on base percentage. The OPS is up to 712. His highest was 537, in 2023. But it's how he looks. I mean, he both checks the eye test and the stat test. What is he doing different this season, you ask? Well, let me give you some detailed stats. And the big thing, and it's funny because him and Matos are very different in their success stories this year. The big problem from Heliot Ramos last 2 seasons was he could not hit the fastball. In 2022, 125 batting average against the fastball. And when I say fastball, I mean 4-seamers, 2-seamers, the cutter, or the sinker, however you want to call it. In 2023, batting average 200. This year, he is raking against fastballs, batting average 571 against every single fastball he sees, and he is seeing 57% of fastballs.
Oh, wow.
Now, I want to see how he adjusts when they start picking up on this trend and start going with the breaking stuff and the off-speed stuff. So far this season, on 11 at-bats finishing on breaking stuff, that means sliders, curveballs, or sweepers, he is hitting 091. So I predict he'll start seeing fewer fastballs, more breaking stuff, and he'll have to adjust to that kind of pitch. Let's go to Luis Matos. Different story, completely opposite. His problem this season has been the fastball. Last year, he hit 264 on those pitches. This year, 222. What is Matos great at? Hitting the off-speed stuff, the changeup, the split finger. Last year, 317 batting average on off-speed stuff. This year, 333. He's got one hit off those pitches, but the fastball is the problem this year for Luis Matos. So if he can sit down with Ramos and talk some hitting of the fastball, and Ramos can sit down with Matos and figure out what he's doing with the off-speed stuff, that would be a tremendous mix of qualities. But I'm really enticed to see how they adjust. Once the league sees these numbers and trends, they're going to start pitching and adjusting to those strengths. How do they adjust to the adjustments? that's the next episode. But I'm really, really excited to see what Heliot Ramos is doing so far with the big club. In terms of how to improve, it's just health. They're not healthy enough. And when healthy, they have to produce. I mean, Stolaire has to produce. Alma, when he comes back, I'm sure he'll produce. But it's health. It's mainly health and not hitting enough.
I'm looking at Kyle Harrison tonight, and I don't look at Matt Cain is an all-time Giants legend. His first full season in the bigs, he went 13-12. He threw 190 innings, and he had almost 180 strikeouts. The whip was 1.28. And I'm looking at what Kyle Harrison's done early on this year. They're both high school drafted players. Cain was a year younger, but Harrison is on par, almost a strikeout per inning. The whip is at 1.26, almost identical. He's got a nice record. Now, I don't know if he's going to qualify for 25 decisions this year. We will see. But I see a lot of things to be encouraged with, and I get the same kind of feeling like I'm watching a young Matt Cain in the sense that this is a guy who's going to be in the rotation a decade.
Yeah, I agree. I think the attitude is we sometimes, and I'm guilty of this as much as anyone else, Joe. And baseball conversation has turned so much data, stat centric. We sometimes forget to, because there's no way to quantify it. How do you quantify attitude? How do you quantify? How do you measure intangibles like grit, composure, growth, maturity? You can't. There's no, and hopefully we never will determine a formula to determine X amount of grit or, competitive toughness for any player or athlete. But you can see it with Kyle Harrison. If you can, well, you go to the eye doctor because it's right there in front of you. In terms of stuff, he has elevated the four-seamer usage this season. He is the guy that throws the second most four-seamers in all of baseball, 64% four-seamer. It's his best pitch by far, 31 strikeouts ending with that pitch. Now, the good thing is the secondary stuff distribution, Joe, is better. The usage of the fastball this year is higher than last year, but his secondary pitches distribution is it's more balanced out. Last year, he was basically a two-pitch pitcher. It was four-seamer first, slurve second. It's a slurve, so call it a sweeper, a slider. Let's call it let's just go with Savant's denomination of the pitch. They called it a slurve. Last year, 26%. This year, down to 15%. So this year, he is more of a change-up guy first, slurve second, and the pitch distribution is very similar on those pitches. Now he is really more of a three-pitch guy this season. He is trusting more. The changeup is now his secondary pitch. It's much more effective this year than it was last season on different metrics. But I just want to throw the stats away for a second and just focus on that, the grit, the stuff, the attitude he's got every time he steps on the bump. For a kid, remember, he is just 22 years old. So I think those are the big things to consider. He's got one of the most valuable fastballs in the game so far. The extension is good. Everything's good. Let's see how he evolves this season.
Carlos Ramirez, NBC Sports Bay Area here on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game. Let's switch gears for a second. You're the host of the 49ers pre- and post-game live. What do you think of their draft? What do you think of their schedule here? Forget the draft. The draft, what's the schedule? What pops at you about the NFL schedule, Carlos?
Well, first of all, I think the first game, the NFL does such a good job, Bonte, of picking the right game for the right week at the right time. Is there anything better for the 49ers? I mean, you could have said the Chiefs, but I would have disagreed. Is there anything better to see the return of Aaron Rodgers to the NFL after that hideous injury from last season on a place that gives him nightmares like Levi's, the House of Jeans? That's just, plus it's Bobby Saleh coming back to the Bay, the Shanahan-Saleh connection. It's just perfect. If I'm always honest, but I think the first game you can circle and say, well, this could be a loss, an L, for the 49ers would be Week 7 when the Chiefs come to town. Because I understand that the Seahawks game in Week 6 might be complicated. It's always, those in-division games are always tough.
Yep.
It's a short week for the 49ers. They play Sunday against the Cardinals the week before.
Physical games. Hey, Carlos, division games are physical, man. Physical.
Right. I get it. And I know. But again, it's a new head coaching staff up in Seattle. What are they going to bring to the table? No one knows. That's also something to take into consideration when scouting the Seahawks. And I get it. It's a short week. It's a physical game. That also might be an L. But if you think that's going to be an L for the Niners, that's Thursday Night Football game, then you're telling me that they're going to lose back-to-back, which might happen. Then I think they can. I don't know if they will. They can lose that Chiefs game. But then what a nice bounce-back week the next week when they kick their butt of the Dallas Cowboys. They're daddy. The Dallas Cowboys are going to come home to daddy, to San Francisco, Santa Clara, bow their heads. You know, the team that owns the Dallas Cowboys.
Carlos.
Careful on what? Am I lying?
No. I mean, I have them going 17-0. I mean, I don't know. Nobody has the guts to just say it. Carlos, I have the most important question that you're ever going to be asked, and you have to be the definitive deal breaker on this one. Bonte asked me earlier today, flat brim or dad hat, if you had to choose between the two, which one is it for you?
Wow. See, it depends on the hat, too. It's not one size fits all.
Totally agree. Yeah. We talked about this.
It depends on the hat.
And the size of your head.
Yeah. No, that's a great question. If it's a golf hat, it can be flat brim. I'm not golfing out there with a flat brim. It looks goofy.
Yes.
No. But if it's like a retro hat, like an old school MLB type of hat, then it's a flat brim. So it depends on the hat.
That's the appropriate answer.
That's my answer.
That's a great answer.
It's not one size fits all.
But here's what I'm saying. I'm making you choose one. So right now, which one, if you had to choose between buying them right now, which one?
Flat brim.
Flat brim. Yeah, Carlos is not dummy, man. Flat brim. He's got swagger, man.
Flat brim.
Another important question. Dortmund or Real Madrid?
Oh, Dortmund. I'm a Barcelona fan. Dude,
so you're speaking from emotion.
Yeah, I mean, the logic says that Real Madrid should win that game. They have the better coach. They have the better squad. They have the better team. I'm sure your fans love the soccer conversation, by the way.
You know what?
No, I'm a cash.
You know what? We have a drop here, Carlos, where
I'm a casual.
I say, what am I, Spinoni? I'm just well-rounded. I'm well-rounded. So if you want to talk soccer, we talk soccer. You want to talk tennis, we talk tennis. Hell, I was watching a hockey game last night where the Rangers, who's the kid who had a hat trick in the third period alone? He joined Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky for having a hat trick in the third period in an elimination game for the Rangers.
If you say Rangers hockey, I go Mark Richter.
You go Mark Richter.
The Richter scale.
Listen, if you're talking soccer now, and this for all Bay Area fans who are listening right now, I just came back on Wednesday from Portland, calling the Timbers Quakes game for MLS season pass on Apple TV.
Wow.
If you ever have a chance to go up to Portland and check out any Timbers game up in Providence Park, which is, by the way, a historic sporting building in the world, and I'm not sure people know this. Back in 1977, when it was a baseball field turned into a soccer field for certain matches, back in 1977, the great Pele, God rest his soul, played his final soccer match on what was used to call the NUSL Championship. Pele with Franz Beckenbauer, who was one of the greatest defenders in soccer history. They played the USL final, and Pele played that match with the Cosmos against the Seattle Sounders in Portland. That was like the neutral site. And that was his final. Imagine Messi. That's the equivalent of having Messi's final ever game on a pitch. That happened in Portland. Do you know who called that game? It's got Bay Area ties. Do you know who called Pele's final game ever up in Portland?
Dan Bawamini.
Joe Starkey.
John Miller.
Oh, wow.
John Miller.
Adios pelota.
Adios. It was all up pelota when he went into the back of the net.
Carlos always learns something new when you come on the airways. You always quiz us. You always throw us a question. Yep. I never have the answer to it. That's why I love having you on the show. And thankfully, the devil did not pop out today.
See, you gotta tone it down. If you overuse it, you get people tired. It's dosification of the product. You got to give it in small doses.
You mean diversifying the portfolio?
Yeah, you got to. Yeah. Otherwise, you don't want to become a one-trick pony. You want people to say, "Hey, what the hell happened? Where's the devil in?" No, you got to slow it down. So next time I'm up, will this guy bring it up or not? Is he going to bring the angel and devil, or will he just give us another dry run at this?
I like it.
You got to keep him guessing like the Oakland A's. Keep him guessing. Is Mason Miller pitching today? Is he not pitching today?
Are we going to Vegas?
Are they going to get shut out?
Are we trading Mason? Are we trading Mason Miller at the
8
deadline?
teams have expressed interest.
There you go. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, my God.
See you, Carlos.
All right,
Miss you,
Carlos.
buddy.
Have a good weekend, brother.
You too, brothers. Stay safe. Keep kicking some butt. Love you both.
Will you do? Love you too. Carlos Ramirez here on the morning.